Make a clap to this.
Ain't no how stepping with Marcus J. Get down with us. 804-447-0601. 804-447-0601. Going to finish up the National Football League recap. Jump right into the New York Football Giants, who went down to play against the Philadelphia Eagles down the straight 95. Great game played by both teams defensively in the first half. Going to the second quarter 0-0. Going to the locker room at halftime 7-3. Both teams seem to be somewhat stingy on the defense, not allowing the opposing quarterbacks to do much. Eagles, of course, break out in the ending of the second quarter to take that 7-0 lead before the Giants end the quarter with a field goal. Then, of course, they battled back and forth throughout the second half until the Eagles pulled out the 19-17 victory. I think one of the actually there were two pivotal situations that happened. One was an interception by Eli Manning in the end zone. That was killer, because at that point, I don't remember off the top of my head what the score was, but the Giants definitely were in a position to be able to take over the game, and he just didn't see safety. He was right there. I don't know how he didn't see the safety, but he throws the interception. Of course, the Eagles get the ball. They run up the field. They score a touchdown. Giants had a chance again at the end. They were moving the ball. They had the clock in their favor. They didn't have any timeouts, but they were doing what they needed to do. And then, of course, you had that killer penalty. You had the offensive pass interference by Ramses Barton down the line right around the 5, which moved them back 10 yards, get a 10-yard penalty. So instead of kicking a 45-yard or 44-yard field goal, they end up kicking a 54-yard field goal and missing it by 5 yards. So they don't get that penalty, Grizzy. It's a good bet that they kick the field goal right there, or they're actually down closer to the end zone. They may score a touchdown or whatever, but either way, they're certainly closer than 54 yards, and they very likely win the game, Grizzy. When you watch the game, what did you see?
You know what? It almost made me think of the replacement refs. Those last two pass plays in the end, where they called the offensive penalty.
Well, the offensive one was legitimate. The couple of the defensive ones,
again, the two that went against the Eagles, they were somewhat questionable. But the one that went against the Giants, when you see the replay, I mean, the dude was mugging him. Yeah.
He was grabbing him. So even as a Giants fan, I can't complain about that. It was legitimate.
I just don't like it that certain plays, when it's that tight, I think you should let them play, honestly. You can't, because either way, if I was the referee, you're going to, I guess that's why they paid the real refs, for they came back. You don't want the referees to have the game in their balance. You should let the players decide. And so I thought especially the Asamoah one where he grabbed him and body checked him out of the end zone. I was like, really? And you gonna call dude for trying to get back inside? So it was. I was mad because I had LaShawn McCoy and Michael Vick, and they ain't scored on that last drive. That hurt me fantasy wise. But I'm not much of an NFC East fan because y'all got to play Pittsburgh.
Well, I have a question. I didn't see all the game. I saw part of it, but are you? I'll direct this to Marcus.
Okay.
2-2. First month of the season's over. This is not where you expected your team to be, I would assume.
No.
Is it time to be worried? Defending champions 2-2 in a division where
it's 0-2 in the division.
Yeah. Oh, dang.
Yeah, they're 0-2 in the division. Yeah.
Dallas.
Well, I look at it like this. You can have ultimate confidence in your team.
Mm-hmm.
My team has shown me over the years to be a great second half team. So on the one hand, I'm not really worried. But on the other hand, we lost 2 games that we probably should have won. We should have won the Dallas game. We should have won the Eagles game. So it's difficult, because in theory we could be 4-0.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that we're a 4-0 team. I don't think that we're good enough to be 4-0. But the way those games played themselves out, it's possible that we could have been 4-0.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Really?
Yeah,
Even
really.
the Cowboys game? You guys didn't show up.
No, but it got interesting.
What potential did they have? Ogletree had a career game.
Ogletree. Who else?
Romo had a career game. He had 3 touchdowns, 300 yards.
So it got interesting towards the end.
Right,
we gave up. We gave up that last touchdown.
Okay, you gave it up.
Okay, so there was we didn't. No, that game was not that close.
Okay.
Hold up, you just said Romo had 3 touchdowns in that game. You call that a career game?
Against the Giants.
Really? Okay.
Okay, you know what? What's the last time your quarterback threw 3 touchdowns?
He's a
When was
rookie.
the last
he's
time?
a rookie.
Any quarterback in Washington, how many
How about
rotations
this?
they go through?
How about this?
How about this?
we talk about your quarterback rating at
Okay.
89.3% and RG3's at 103.5?
Okay, RG3 also runs the ball. Let's bring that into the equation. That's
Well, I
part
don't
of it
think
too.
does running play into the
Yes, it does.
in the quarterback
In the
range?
quarterback
Yes, it
rating?
does. Yes, it does.
I don't know about that. We'll have to look that up.
I'm pretty sure running.
Yeah, I don't think running
doesn't go into the quarterback
goes into
rating.
the quarterback rating. we'll have to look that up. But I mean, to address your point, Cowboys won the game. At the end of the day, the Cowboys won the game. I'm not sitting here disputing the fact the Cowboys did not win the game. The question that I was asked that ain't had nothing to do with you, Carlton Banks.
But you put it out there.
You know
But-
he got to defend his
But
Cowboys.
the question that was asked of me is, am I worried about the Giants? My answer is no, I'm not. We got the toughest schedule in the league. That's not something I made up. That's something that has been documented based upon the records of the teams that we have to play against. 2-2 after 4 games. Could be worse, could be better. We'll see what happens. The Giants have shown to be a good second half team in recent seasons. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, Ruben.
And also by looking up the running aspect, you're looking at that new quarterback rate,
Or
whatever.
the ESPN,
ESPN garbage.
Contra left,
I'm looking
right,
at the
right, up,
NFL
down, up,
quarterback
down.
rating,
Rating.
in which RG3 has thrown for over 1,000 yards, completed 69%, where Mr. Romer at number 17 he's completed 65% for only 841 yards. But to his credit, he's 1 game short.
Thank you.
So, with that being said, Romo still hadn't been in the top 10 the whole league in the whole season, which RG3 has. Because I've been watching this because of last year and all the other crap that we used to hear about what's his name, his quarterback, Manning.
What's his name?
No, we was here
Eli
last
Manning.
year. It was about the quarterback rating last year,
Yeah.
Right.
and we talked a lot about it.
Yeah, because
that.
Eli Manning came out before the season and said that he's elite, and then there was
Correct.
the whole
Right,
is
I
Eli
remember that.
elite conversation.
And I'm not saying RG3's elite. I'm just saying RG3's hanging out.
Yeah, one of the things
He's
I
hanging
say.
out in the big boy
I
club.
think as a Cowboys fan, you just being a damn fool sitting here
being
talking
a hater.
bad about the Redskins quarterback when he's a rookie and he's doing the damn thing.
And he's better
If
than your
If
quarterback.
you're going to be a hater, then just go ahead and put yourself out there as a hater.
I compliment RG.
Yeah,
I compliment him
just
until
go-
the division games start. That's when we're going to really see the true
Man,
measure
it
of it.
doesn't matter if we lose 6 division games. If we go 10-6, we going to the playoffs.
No, you won't.
Well, people fail
Why
to
not?
realize.
You can't lose every division game and go to the playoffs. You got to win the division to represent that division.
Not you make. It's
You
called
get
a
the
wild card.
You get
Oh,
wild
okay.
card.
Oh, wait a minute.
It's not likely to happen.
Yeah,
Right,
it's hard,
Thank you, Bond.
but it's possible.
People fail to
Actually,
realize
this year it might not be that difficult because nobody in the NFC South's gonna get the wild card.
Well, I think he was exaggerating to make
Right,
a point.
right.
I understand
Yeah.
what he was trying
Right.
to say. Of course, Carlton over here wanted to take him somewhat literally.
But are we
yeah.
shocked? Are we shocked what the Giants do though? Don't they do this?
They
This
do
is
it.
what they do.
They
You
it.
know,
that's,
and
that's
come
what they do.
right after Thanksgiving.
And then
all
the
of a
thing
sudden
is,
they get a B12 shot.
And then the thing is, watching that game last night, where you never in the first half, it was it was a prize fight. They went through the first 2 rounds, giving each other some slugs, and nobody got that big shot.
Right.
By the time the second half came, if you're a Giants fan or you don't really care one way or the other, Giants fans are people that didn't care. Pretty much expected the Giants to pull that game out simply because of what Eli Manning has done. When you watch, he had the record last season of the most fourth quarter comebacks,
8,
15. 15 out of 16 games.
Wow.
Well, no, not last year. Over the last couple of years, he had like 15 comebacks, whatever the number was. He led the league and he set the record.
I guess
so. That's what you expected. That's what I expected.
Yeah, I guess my worry is that he's suffering from Aaron Rodgers disease,
Which is
whereas we can't score points. I mean, you scored 14 points last night. I mean, you're not gonna win too many NFL games scoring 14 points, especially this year when people drop y'all dropped 45 against freaking Tampa Bay or some craziness. The Redskins average 32 points a game, and we're 2-2.
It was a Carolina game, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, it was the Tampa Bay game.
I know we had a big chunk of points that we scored against Carolina, but either way,
got
Yeah,
running
but
backs
I'm
now.
saying, I guess what I'm saying is, offenses are putting up crazy points, and some defenses ain't working. But it's just like 14 points. It ain't enough anymore.
But
if you're not scoring 20-some points, you can give it an L.
14 points is enough in the regular season, but defense still rules.
Defense
in the
still
postseason.
rules.
In the postseason, defense still rules.
I'm on record as saying that if you score between 20 and 29 points, you in that could win, could lose range. You know what I mean? If you score less than 20 points, you're going to probably lose.
I'd take it a step further. I'd say if you don't have to, Green Bay showed it the last couple of years, you don't have to be top 15 defensive wise.
You got to score more points than everybody else.
You got to score more points than everybody else. And then in the crunch time, when you get, if it's a drive to win or a drive to kick a field goal to score, if you can use New England. How did New England get to the Super Bowl last year? And they were shredded cheese defense, you know? Yeah. So as long as you're...
But they made the stops when they needed
to.
Yeah,
you need to make the stops. Red zone defense is very important.
Speaking of New England, New England goes into the locker room at halftime, 14-7. 14-7. And then... You know, they win this game, Bondi.
Circling the wagon.
They win the game. Bondi, they win the game 52-28. They scored 31 points in the fourth quarter.
But you know what? I'll tell you the worst game.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The worst game had to be the Viking-Lions game. There was no touchdowns with the Vikings in that game. Okay? Their points came off of
offensive touchdowns?
No offensive touchdowns came from that Viking offense. Special teams scored all that. So if you take away the 105-yard touchdown return and a punt, Minnesota loses that game.
Well,
but they put up points.
That's why you play all three parts of the game.
All three phases. Carlton. All three phases.
But, you know, the New England game was Tom Brady just said, yeah, I feel like throwing some touchdown passes today.
Tom Brady ended up with 340 yards, 3 touchdowns. When they ended up how you losing 14-7 and win 52-28?
You can't even put that on Belichick. You got to put. You know what? I think that's all have to do with Buffalo's defense, and they're supposed to be much better than what they were last year.
For the first time, I think I actually saw New England actually said, you know what? We're going to actually run the ball. Yeah. They had 200-yard rushes yesterday. No, they had 200-yard rushes yesterday. Yeah. I was like, are you kidding me? That's first time in probably ever.
For New England?
Probably hasn't happened. Probably since Belichick's been.
And that won't happen. A whole bunch of people will jump on that come fantasy-wise and pick up Stephen Ridley, and he won't do nothing.
I saw one touchdown. He threw to Gronkowski. Nobody touched Gronkowski. Right down the middle. I was like, really?
I tell you, I'm watching the Red Zone channel, and they were killing Brady in the first half. They were killing Brady.
If I was a Buffalo Bills fan, I would be highly pissed. I mean, I would be so pissed off at that. Just because, I mean, to let another NFL team, a professional football team, lay up 52 on you after you beating them 14-7 in the first half, it's like your defense comes out the locker room like they just got out of a romp with Jenna Jameson or something and laid it down.
Just to kind
Jenna Jameson with Tito or Jenna Jameson back in the day?
Back in the day.
Oh, okay.
To kind of piggyback off of
she look a little rough.
To kind of piggyback off of the embarrassment that Grizzy is alluding to. If you want to talk about embarrassment, 52-28 is bad, right? Mm-hmm. But how about 34-0?
Yeah.
Well, Jets should quit. How about that? Wow. Now, here's the thing. When you look at the Jets, and I know I talk about them every single week because I'm not a Jets fan, but
they suck.
I'm Jet friendly.
Why?
I'm Jet friendly. I just because it ain't because of Tebow. Trust me. It's because of where I grew up, and I don't have an allegiance to them, but I grew up watching them, and so I'm Jet friendly. So, but let me just kind of put it out there like this. Rex Ryan, I'm about tired of hearing him talk. Because all he talk about is how he has this great defense and how he wants this, smash and run offense, and how he doesn't want his quarterback to make mistakes. Well, I think he just described the 49ers. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the team that just bust that ass yesterday.
But the 49ers are actually doing it.
But the 49ers are actually good. Yes. So, I mean, they got a running game.
Their defense is monstrous.
They got a running game. They got a defense, and they got a serviceable quarterback who's not going to get them in trouble. Now, I know Big Rube and Carlton Banks gets tired of hearing me bring up Tim Tebow every single week. But this dude is terrible, yo, for real. I watched him yesterday, and they made a point. And Carlton, I'm going to let you get on in this one. They made a point of getting Tim Tebow in on all kinds of formations. I saw him line up in the I. I saw him line up spread wide. I saw him line up in the fullback position, and I seen him line up under center.
Okay.
Was he
I-
in the triple
under
option?
center.
Okay.
Was he in the triple option at all? Double wing?
Yeah, I
Double
mean,
wing?
but here's my question, and I know y'all don't like the Jets, but just humor me on this one. Why the hell would Tannenbaum bring in? First of all, he's got a fourth-year quarterback who was drafted. It was almost like what the Giants did with Eli. They went through all this trouble to get him. They got the guy they wanted. He gets to 2 straight AFC championship games. They didn't do so great last year, but I'm thinking 2 straight AFC championship games could get you a little cachet. So in year 4, they bring in not just the most popular quarterback, they bring in the most popular player in the league when your fourth-year quarterback hasn't really graduated to that next level. So when you're talking about a hit to his confidence, and then you got your head coach talking about you want to have a running offense, so Carlton Banks.
Right.
So what the hell are they doing with the Jets?
Dude, they have lost their identity. They came out, couldn't do anything in the preseason. First game of the season, they blow up.
48 points.
And then
Everybody blow up Buffalo.
48 points, though. When they scored
that-
48 points, Carlton Banks, I came in here and said the Jets about to do the damn thing, right?
Right.
And then the next week, they barely scored.
And I laughed at you.
You laughed at me, Ruben. I will give you credit because Ruben thought I was out my damn mind, and it seems that I ended up being out my damn mind. But Carlton, what are you seeing in your opinion is the real problem? I just laid it out. I think Rex is crazy.
Rex has lost his damn mind, plain and simple. He is trying to hype up Sanchez for everything and anything he can possibly juice out of him. And guess what? That's some dry fruit right now. You're going to throw Tebow in there. Tebow's going to do the same thing. Tebow can't deliver the pass. And, at least he can run the ball. But how long are you going to be able to run the option in the NFL?
Marcus, you made a mention about they made to the championship game the first 2 years. They did that because of the defense. They didn't do that because of Mark Sanchez. He was a game
manager, and he didn't mess it
up. He was a Trent Dilfer,
but he wasn't the reason that they didn't get there.
Of the New York Jets.
Yeah, but Trent Dilfer got a chip.
He did because of the defense.
Here's where the Jets messed up when they brought in Tebow. If you can't bring in Tebow first after you done paid Mark Sanchez a extension and not overhaul your whole offense. I speak from experience, being that Denver played Pittsburgh last year in the playoffs. You have to offensively, you have to scheme an offense around Tebow. So that's why he doesn't work in spot places. I mean, if I was a defensive player and I see Tebow on the field, either he a dummy or he getting the ball. It ain't, a lot of options there. So if they was going to bring in Tebow, he had to bring him in as a starter. You can't bring him in as a spot player, put him on the punt return team, and then expect a lot out of Tebow. So that was, to me, a dumb trade for. I don't know what they traded away for, but I just thought it was stupid. And yeah, Sanchez just stinks. He reeks.
Well, first of all, they brought Tebow in for get butts in the seats. That's simple.
That's it. Money
to get paid. Second of all, Sanchez's fault. It's not Sanchez's fault. The offense sucks. The offense sucks without Sanchez. It doesn't matter who you put back there. Offense is terrible. Name the running back.
Sean Green and
terrible.
Dude. Well, yeah, they terrible. But
get him a running back. The line's okay. You get him a half a receiver. Santonio Holmes got hurt and fumbled the ball.
He threw it away.
I mean, yeah. If he was like out of bounds, really, that was like stupid. And then on top of that,
agony.
Yeah, you got other people. I mean, basically, the team needs help. The team needs
work. Y'all are
work.
bailing out Sanchez, man. She stink. And you could put 2 Pro Bowlers around him. And
I just disagree on the Sanchez stinks thing simply because people said the same thing about Eli Manning at the same point in his career. You know what I mean? And if you look at their numbers at this point in their career, they're similar. You know what I mean? So I would like to see what Sanchez can do, kind of alluding to they're similar. They're similar. Yeah. I would like to hear kind of what Big Rube is saying. I would like to see what he does with talent around. The only thing that I'll say to that is Eli always had some people around him.
I think Eli made, and I see what you're saying, but let's look at who Eli had.
He had Amani Toomer. He also had Plaxico Burress. He also had what's the guy, Tyree.
All right, who was quarterbacking before Eli got there?
You had Kurt
Warner and Dave. Dave Brown.
You gonna wait?
Well, see, but the thing about it is,
what I'm saying to wrap it up real quick is that it wasn't like the talent that the Giants had got better as Eli got better.
But I compare Sanchez right now to what Bradford had to go through his first 3 years, because there ain't nothing in New York that's worth anything. And now that San Antonio Holmes gone, it's done.
It's a wrap. Ain't no half stepping. Marcus J, and that segment is a wrap. Get down with us. Hit us 804-447-0601. We get ready to transition into the socially conscious entertainment hour.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about hip hop. We got Jay Bondi and Jay Savior in the building. We got a young fella and an old fella in the room. So we're gonna get into hip hop. Started out in the park.
I'm a human beatbox.
Human beatbox for us. What's it mean to you, really? Do you like it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Where you going with it at this point? Ain't no half stepping. Marcus J. Be back in a minute.